There's a certain beauty and a curse that comes with live streaming. If you make a mistake, there's no undo button. You can't just cut it out. If it's there on a live stream, it's there forever. And we've seen time and time again that one simple, single blunder, one little split-second mistake can cost people their entire online career, whether that's from something they say or something they do. In fact, we actually just saw this very phenomenon happen a month ago, where a big streamer named Atrioc was live and alt-tabbed, which for a literal fucking nanosecond flashed his deepfake porn on stream, and that cost him everything. Years upon years of work undone in an instant because he jump scared everyone with his deepfake porn, which revealed a lot of awful things about the whole situation and everything that was going on there. Point is, on live streams, there's no going back, and we've seen time and time again this lead to the downfall of an entire career. And we almost saw it again last night with Linus Tech Tips. Linus has built an empire online. He is an incredible creator who has done amazing work for so long now. And last night he almost wiped his ass with the entire fucking thing.
I mean, it's been kind of eye-opening. I've just sort of randomly here and there picked up episodes of, old shows that I hadn't watched in a long time from like the early 2000s, and just the casual the casual sort of gay humor.
We've entered the danger zone here on stream. This is like Chernobyl just waiting to melt down because of something he's about to say. But to paint the picture, what he's talking about here is how not that long ago, things were more acceptable in content and media that aren't acceptable today. He's talking about how things have changed, and in particular, he's mentioning how, like, some shows would have casual gay humor, where back in the earlier 2000s, that was a very common thing. Calling something gay was used pretty much everywhere for everything. If someone got a cheeseburger that didn't have enough cheese on it, they'd say, "That's gay." If you were walking down the stairs and you missed a step and you started to tumble down the stairs, you'd be screaming, "This is gay!" Like, all the way down. If a buddy of yours asked to bring his girlfriend along to, like, the boys' night out, you'd say, "Stop being gay." That kind of shit. That's what he's talking about. And he's saying, it hasn't been that long, and going back and watching shows that still have that humor in it was jarring to him.
Casual use of the hard R.
Oh, really?
It's jarring. Yeah, it's jarring now. And for
casual use of hard R.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Like okay, it was an episode of American Dad. And it was just
Really?
like, yeah, it wasn't for shock value. It was just like used.
Buckle your seatbelt because this ride's getting real bumpy now. The train is getting off the tracks. We're going wacko mode here. So hard R, as I'm sure all of you probably understand, is a very serious slur. Like, that's not, empty calories. That's no sack of potatoes. That's a big fucking slur. And he's saying that it was used casually back in the early 2000s, and even mentions a example with American Dad. Now, with my hand on a stack of Bibles, I'll just tell you, I'm not the biggest American Dad fan. I'll just be honest with you. I haven't watched a ton of it. I'm not the biggest spectator of the show, so maybe this episode he's talking about flew under the radar. I never heard of it, never watched it, but that took me by surprise. And I really love Luke's reaction, his co-host here, because you can see him like, hard R, excuse me, what kind of fantasy land are you living in, Linus, where hard R's were casual? Because I and Luke and probably everyone else in the world can't really recall a time where normal TV shows were dropping racist slurs casually like that.
Whoa.
Right? Well, I mean, here's the thing, right? That was in 2003 or something, like 2002.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna deny that I dropped my fair share of hard R's back then, because we didn't even, the term hard R didn't even exist. We didn't think about it, right? And it's funny because to me, that doesn't feel like that long ago.
As a big fan of Linus, when I heard that, I had to stand up from my chair, hands on my hip. I was like, all right, it's over. I felt like a coach who had just watched his team lose the championship ball game. Like, you take my hat off, put it over my chest and say a prayer for him, because I was like, God rest his soul, this is the end of Linus. And you can see Luke, like, he shakes his head, like, in disbelief, and then he's just looking down. And I already know, during this moment where Linus is, like, admitting to using hard R's casually, he's processing this as like, yep, back to the old grind. This is where it all ends, huh? This is the end of our run. He was just seeing all the walls around him starting to crumble, the Empire burning to a crisp, all because Linus is just freely loosey-goosey admitting to using the hard R casually often. But do not despair, because not all is as it seems here.
But to my kids...
Are you talking like N-word hard R?
What? No.
Okay. I'm pretty sure that's how people use that term.
No.
I think
That's
so.
the N-word. What are you guys talking about? Am I mistaken?
I think so.
No, the one with the for mental disability.
I'm pretty sure people use hard R in a very different way than you just used it.
Oh. Okay, either
hard
way.
R means ending
I understand.
the N-word
I
with
understand.
a hard R.
I understand what you mean. No, I'm not talking about that.
You can feel life be breathed back into the room. Like, once Linus elaborates that he wasn't talking about the N-word, he was talking about the word used with mental disabilities, and collectively all at once the whole room comes back to life. This reminds me of a very famous quote from the late great Uncle Ben, God rest his soul, when he sat down Peter Parker in that car and he said, "With great power comes great responsibility." In this case, it's with great power comes great fucking blunders. This was an amazing disaster to watch unfold with, like, the wackiest plot twist of an ending. I have never once heard the hard R refer to anything other than the racist slur. So when he just started willy-nilly admitting to using it casually, I couldn't believe my goddamn ears, and I know every coworker was panicked texting each other saying, like, hey, really enjoyed our time together, it's fucking over, tune into the stream. Like, I have no doubt that was probably the scariest moment of their careers, listening to Linus just for some reason admit to using the hard R often. And then, of course, the grand reveal where he wasn't actually talking about racist shit, he was referring to something different entirely, and then this is the aftermath of that.
Okay, cool. So I'm glad that we have cleared that up.
I'm freaking Neo over here, dude. We're dodging bullets. That was bad.
Okay, yes.
All right.
Right. I forgot about the part where I said, yeah, I just used it. No, actually.
We can breathe. Everything's okay.
Cool. So
right.
I hope everyone likes not having a job anymore on Monday, because apparently I'm a giant racist.
We didn't lose our money in the bank crash. Bank run.
In the audience run.
What a journey we went on for about 2 minutes there with this whole section. Yeah, I just wanted to talk about this because this was the closest I've seen to someone just committing career suicide with a smile on their face during it. Big misunderstanding here, I suppose. And the world is in a very weird state right now. Corruption has sunk its fangs into everything around us. The price of eggs just keeps going up. You could get a single carton of eggs for the same price as a down payment on a Tesla. I can't believe the wacky state of the world. Who would have thought? But by far, the biggest display of injustice in our society was something that took place last night at the Streamer Awards. The Streamer Awards are an annual, high-quality production spearheaded by QT Cinderella. It's an event that every human being on the planet looks forward to every year, and they make the Oscars ceremony look like a participation trophy awards show for the second-string JV sports clubs at a high school. It's an amazing and fun event that just brings everyone in the space together to just have some fun, and it's voted on by fans to just kind of celebrate the space. As you all know, last year, I was the recipient of the prestigious Variety Streamer of the Year category. This year, Radio Silence. I wasn't nominated for anything. Now, me being an adult and being the strong, hulking, masculine embodiment of what it means to be a testosterone-fueled titan, I can handle that. I'm okay with it. I understand. But not everyone is as mentally strong or has my level of fortitude, so there were riots, there were protests at the Streamer Awards ceremony. And I kind of just want to talk about that a little bit because I think it's important too.
Dude, it suits you, man. Huh? It suits you, like the fancy. For real? I'm nervous.
I watched it unfold live. The chaos was almost too much for me to bear. People protesting on my behalf, I never would have wanted such a thing, but as you could see, it was inevitable. I wasn't nominated for any categories, and people, they had enough. So, as you can see, a few rioters showed up there. I don't know those men, and I can only imagine the ones that didn't make it that must have been protesting right outside. But these three noble heroes snuck in. As you can see, they're strategically planted in the blind spots of security, like a game of fucking Assassin's Creed. They had no idea they were there. And, well, it only escalated from there.
As far as anyone who's anyone
Okay,
is
what?
here...
What?
Wait,
What are we doing here?
They gotta work on security.
What are we doing?
You got some
What are
fucking
we doing?
hooligans turning
What are
up.
we- Okay,
Pretty
guys,
much
can
we
you-
weren't nominated this year, and it's a bigger spit in the face than spitting in God's face. It's like slapping God on his freaking ass and then asking him to come show up anyways. I don't know why we were nominated if you don't have the respect to give us the time of day.
Is this a protest?
Yeah, this is a protest.
Yeah,
Yep,
protest,
yep,
yeah.
you got it right on the dot.
I think they
Y'all
have
making
something.
me
I
feel
think they're
like
onto
moist
something.
critical right now.
Yeah.
A second
what does
class
that even
citizen.
mean?
A second class citizen.
Oh, because two.
It's like an afterthought, but not like a good afterthought, like the Chow Garden in Sonic Adventure Battle 2. More like a bad afterthought, like the script in Avatar: The Way of Water.
Yeah, have you ever heard of the franchise Hunger Games? That's my arm right there.
He's speaking facts.
I kind of carried the franchise, and you
Hollywood
didn't have
royalty.
the guts to nominate us. So now we're on
Hollywood royalty,
protest.
and yet
All right, okay, well, let me
we
ask you
won
guys,
last year.
what should you have been nominated for?
Everything.
Yeah, everything. Yeah.
Agreed. They're onto something.
Yep.
Look, let me show you something. What
Yep.
we have here is Brendan Fraser's talented actor Bathwater.
Yep.
What?
So, when he was filming The Whale, after the shoot, he took off the fat suit, and for about 6 hours each day of shooting, he would soak in a bath. This is 75% Brendan Fraser sweat,
Don't drink
25%
it. Don't
water.
drink. Don't drink it. Don't
Well, let him
drink
take a swig. It's like
Don't drink
it's
it.
like
Don't drink it.
nectar.
It's gonna mess me up.
I'm a big fan of
Don't
The
drink
Mummy.
it.
Well, when you drink it,
They're treating Brendan Fraser's sweat like it's poison, which is honestly insulting. I imagine if that truly was his sweat in the jar, like I imagine it would be, probably ethically sourced right from Brendan himself, you'd be lucky enough to be able to try some of that absolute sweet potion. That'd be like a panacea. It'd heal all your wounds, make you taller, put more hair on your chest. Like, what a generous gift they came bearing. This is the most peaceful protest I've ever seen in my fucking life.
For you.
These homeless men are really upset. I told you the corruption has really
Why? Are you
angered the
watching-
entire
You're
community.
watching Moist Critical stream of this.
Charlie, and Charlie's stream. Yeah.
Yes.
well, it's kind of funny he came back to us right now because he didn't have the courtesy to nominate us. It's kind of like spitting in God's face and then asking him to beg for forgiveness. It's kind of pathetic.
Back
I give
at
it
it
back because I
again.
figured that was for you. So.
All.
What was that for me? I don't know who those guys are. It's just they're as
We
upset
are
as everyone
going
else is
to-
about this whole situation.
I'm gonna
honestly, it's a
come down
sham
right down
that I wasn't
here,
nominated
so
and they've
that
had enough.
Valky
Clearly.
Ray.
This is me extending an olive branch. I'm calling for a ceasefire. This anger is misplaced. It's not the way of the Jedi. This is a fan-nominated ceremony, which means I fell off. That means my stream wasn't clapping cheeks the way it was last year. And as hard as it is to take responsibility, there's really only one place you can point your finger, only one entity to shoulder the blame, and that's everyone but me. It's actually a giant conspiracy on the same level as Hollow Earth. There's some true foul play going on behind the scenes, not only in the community, but on the platform itself. I ask you, when was the last time my stream was on the front page of Twitch or even recommended on Twitch? Do I hear zero? Because that's the correct answer, which is weird. I mean, I do a lot of innovative, cool shit on Twitch. Like, just like a month ago, I was talking about Bill Cosby's upcoming comedy tour, and even chat was being very helpful with giving, like, ways to survive. You know, bring your own snacks. If you start yawning, immediately dial 911. Like, we go over important topics. We do crazy shit. Like, I played Sons of the Forest really fast, and I only cried twice because of how fucking bad that game was and how awful and boring the speedrun was after the fucking 20th time of running it. Point is, I mean, like, hey, you know, these streams, you know, they're just as good this year as last year. I mean, so something must have gone wrong. There must have been some kind of outer forces at work in order to keep me suppressed, or perhaps they didn't want me to win too many times, which I think is probably the leading theory. But regardless, it's clearly not me who's hurt. I'm not the one offended. It's pandemonium on the streets right now of LA. Those were only 3 protesters that made it inside the venue undetected. But I've seen pictures, I've read reports about thousands upon thousands showing up wondering, where's Moist Critical at? You know, I wasn't on the ballot. You know what, it's not important though, because at the end of the day, the event was fucking amazing. QT Cinderella and the entire production team absolutely outdid themselves. This was bigger and better than last year, and I fucking loved watching it. Huge thanks to QT Cinderella for letting me even watch party it in the first place. I really wanted to go, but I do have a legitimate debilitating fear of flying, so that was kind of off the table, and it's literally like a 3-day road trip from where I'm at to get to California, and that's just a very difficult thing to make happen. So I couldn't be there myself, but she allowed me to still co-stream it and watch it with the chat and celebrate and just be part of the fun. But luckily, you know, I've cloned myself. We have doppelgangers, and they were able to attend in my place, and they made a very fun spectacle out of it. Of course, they were kissing each other, per usual. I still don't fully understand why, but like if you watch the Twitch highlight of the Streamer Awards, when the Charlies are on screen, they do a threesome kiss for some reason. It's fantastic work. Absolutely. I guess that is what I'm known for, you know, kissing myself. Just a really huge thanks. I always appreciate that they're willing to do something like that, and it's become just a cherished tradition at this point. So big thanks to Joel Haver, Kevin Amarillo, and Demetrios Michalikis. I think it's always just spectacular. So I just want to talk about this a little bit because the Streamer Awards are something that I think is very special. I always love, like I mentioned, when a creator does something big and branches out from just standard content online from like gaming or talking or whatever and doing these huge productions and taking a risk like this. And QT does it like no one else does. The production, the event, is unlike anything else in the space. It's a huge venue, very professional, and just so well put together and fun, and it always just... It deserves a huge round of applause from everyone who enjoys live content or anything like that because it's spectacular. So I just wanted to highlight that and the great work her and her team have done for this. Absolutely fucking killed it. Let's ride.
All right.
You can hop on the couch if you want, Caleb.
You can hop on the lap.
We're watching a guy go wild.
I have a challenge for all of you. Go to every computer in your house. Your
How did
mom's,
I get an
dad's,
ad?
Your sister, your brother's computer, and install.
I love you, Mr. Beast, but I'm skipping that ad.
Everyone. I'm the act attorney here. What a pleasure it is to meet all of you today. I am so thrilled and excited. Never gonna be doing something like that again.
You guys literally sound like
abuse victims, right?
So I would say this game is for somebody they have no family, no friends, no life. I'm not sorry. I don't like Elden Ring players. They're nasty people. The players are losers. And you want to literally just start rolling with all these claims and accusations.
I'm sure he'll cover it, but I'll still give you like a brief overview. So this all started because this guy made a video saying like Elden Ring sucks or something, and he hates everyone that plays Elden Ring. So Actman made a video about like the worst take in Elden Ring.
Yeah.
And this guy got so offended he like copyright struck him or tried to like abuse copyright, and it didn't work, and he went on like some kind of like crazy religious meltdown. He made like thousands of fucking posts. It was wild.
Look at what you're doing.
God, this editing is next level. Whoa.
Don't cry for me. I'm already dead.
Maybe that's why you don't have a ring on your finger. Maybe that's why your kids aren't around you. Because maybe there's something wrong with you. At the end of the day, go kill yourself. Because maybe there's something wrong with you.
The game that's not for everyone isn't the game that should be hated.
Maybe there's something wrong with you. Maybe there's something wrong with you. Something wrong with you.
Damn, I didn't get a
Maybe
chance.
there's some.
Whoa, hold on.
Too fast.
Maybe there's
We're
something wrong
blasting
with
right through the lore.
Maybe there's.
You literally, man, this guy really does say literally a lot, even when texting. You literally stole my video footage with an illegal video downloader. Bro, I guarantee you just used OBS to screen record it. Take this video down and remake it with all the stolen footage and without my likeness in your thumbnail. I own the sole copyright to the Quantum TV brand and all its imagery assets. Failure to remove the stolen content will result in a takedown. I've already formally filed against you, but don't want to copyright strike you. I just want my assets removed, so I'm giving you a heads up. I don't mind criticism, just don't go stealing videos from my channel. That isn't going to fly. It's a violation of YouTube terms of service to use third-party software to acquire someone's videos, and you're risking your channel with stunts like this. Only warning, man.
Only a warning.
Damn it. This guy's going in. This guy's like literally fucking butts right now. with copyright.
What a douche canoe.
Yeah. Wrong with you? Maybe there's something wrong with you.
That's fine. It wasn't.
Yeah, it was Facebook.
I show you just how deep the rabbit hole goes.
Court is now in session. A false copyright strike and takedown request was recently filed against my channel. Take a guess by who? Nat Haas. Nope. Derek Savage. Nope. Quantum TV.
You guys want to have your fun with Quantum TV? Have your fun at this point. I mean, I'm kind of amused by this. I'm not gonna lie.
So you think it's funny?
What is his name here? The Act Man? Never heard of you. And we're going to go over your so-called hot takes, which contains a lot of stolen footage.
Kinda slaps.
Which, by the way, I'll look into my options around getting that taken down.
Any further attempts to falsely copyright strike my channel will be met with a counter lawsuit in which I will clean you out.
When you start talking fair use, you are...
That's pretty hardline stance.
You're telling the copyright...
And I like his odds.
Fuck you.
Mudahar made a great video summing up the ramifications and what is actually at stake.
Again, once you file this claim, somebody else can counterclaim you, and then it becomes a legal issue. If it turns out that you're actually abusing this for your own benefit...
I am curious, do you think a case has ever actually gone to court, though, for delegation? I feel like it never does, even if you do counter. Like, they say it's supposed to be a legal matter, but it almost never is. It's usually just like, oh, I got countered. Yeah. I'll just counter again.
Yeah.
And then you counter again, and again, and again, through YouTube.
Oh, yeah, I guess H3H3's did. That's true.
But his was off-platform. Like, after the strike, he immediately went to court, I think.
Well, yeah, that's all it says when you counter. It doesn't... It's not like YouTube hosts it. It tells you, your next step is to file a claim.
Do you remember... We can share the story now, right? Like, the statute of limitations is probably expired.
Yeah, I think we're good.
This fucking guy... You may remember a long time ago on my channel, I had a video making fun of the Pizza Hut training video from the 80s. One fucking dude, he was a cameraman who filmed that, took down the video and threatened legal action because he said he had the rights to everything Pizza Hut related to that fucking video because he held the camera.
That was literally like my first week that I worked with you.
Yep.
And you were like, hey, can you handle this guy? And he was like 95 years old.
Oh my, the dude, he had a website that was straight GeoCities.
Oh yeah. What was, it was straight up Zynga, like that old school, like neon lines running across it. It was so bad.
God, that guy was an absolute nightmare. I immediately just folded. I was like, bro, I will just take down the video. Just get rid of this.
It wasn't worth it.
Yeah, just get rid of the strike. I'll take the video down. He's like, nope.
Oh,
nope, I will not do that.
Stupid. We should put the video back up and take him to court if he tries to do it again.
Yeah, fuck that guy. He doesn't own Pizza Hut. He held a camera.
He cannot prove that that's his.
He is pretending to be the owner of the Pizza Hut footage just because he was one of the camera guys.
Yeah, we're not scared anymore. We were new back then.
Yeah.
We'll take him all the way.
I was just too green.
Yep.
Now I'm willing to meet him in court.
Law, okay? That includes fair use dealings, fair use law. If you were to take this video to a fucking courtroom,
Thanks, Reset Notorious. Hey, Jubilee refugees. Sorry to hear X is watching Jubilee.
You know, normally reacting or commentating on someone else's video as part of a critique falls under fair use. And generally speaking, pretty much...
It's a meme on Twitch, so XQC will watch Jubilee and the chat fucking hates it. So when he watched Jubilee, some viewers will just like leave. They'll just go somewhere else. They call them Jubilee refugees. It's fucking great. It's like XQC's version of raiding. So he doesn't do like an official raid, but he'll turn on Jubilee and he'll just like disperse viewers all over the platform.
That's like a reverse spirit bomb.
Yeah, it's so cute. It's so sweet. I think he does it on purpose, just being a nice guy.
Some people might ask, well, why are you making this video? Why are you giving him exposure? I understand your concerns, but this affects the entire YouTube platform. By the way, he's not gaining much of a following or viewership from all of this controversy.
I know, he's kind of popping off.
Goal is the termination of his YouTube channel.
That's
for
bold.
routinely abusing copyright, violating terms of service, and the YouTube community guidelines.
And there are all these people saying that I falsely attacked some young kid. Everybody loves to put his age out. The moment I mention it, why are you so obsessed with his age? I don't care, he's a minor, leave it alone.
For some reason,
did he attack
really obsessed with the age of Mischief.
Like, nobody gives a shit about his age. He's being a piece of garbage. People like Mischief, who apparently is a young child. Maybe Mischief's mother might want to get in on this. What? All the negative press you've seen on me is because I reviewed a game once, didn't like it, some 16-year-old kid picked it up. This is said 16-year-old. 16-year-old, 17-year-old kid from the UK. Mischief, the 16-year-old kid. You're not some young 16-year-old
He really
kid
does
on the
seem
internet.
fixated on that age.
16-year-old kid. This kid. He's a 16-year-old. There's a 16-year-old kid. Some 16-year-old kid on the Mischief is the chief orchestrator.
I don't know why you would highlight that when you're making an argument. Just to keep bringing up that they're 16,
You're
like
bullying a 16-year-old.
Like if I was to fight someone, I would only fight a child, like
Right.
a 12-year-old, and I would likely win. But I would never say I beat a child. I'd be like, I went to war.
Won a fight.
I won a fight. I'm an undefeated fighter, 1-0.
Yeah, how old was that other fighter?
We don't like. No one
I
needs
don't
to
know.
ask.
Yeah.
Like I would never bring that up
All you
willingly.
need to know is he had fists too. Two of them, might I add. There were two of them.
Oh man, he's going full anime villain here. I'll have a judge explaining the 4 characteristics of fair use, which determine fair use. Case law. Shake my head. Damn.
Let's give a shout out to Mischief.
You know, that is a great idea, Quantum. For once we agree on something, everybody go subscribe to Mischief. Let's get him to more subscribers than Quantum TV so we can see who the real
Yeah, wait, how did that
YouTuber
work? So this has
is.
been
Wouldn't that be a
This is a day old. Let's see what Mischief is at. He's gonna be at like 1 million.
Oh no, Mischief.
Oh,
Mischief.
Oh, wait, you're right. Yeah. that's the-
88.9K.
Wait.
Ooh. Yeah, just Mischief.
That's huge.
Oh, that is so nice.
Wait, now I want to see Quantum.
I'd hate to bully such a small creator, you know?
Yeah.
God.
Oh, Quantum's at 65.
Oh no, Quantum. Does he have fans? Like, do people defend him? I wonder.
I can't imagine.
The power of an apology. Oh, no, is he rolling over?
No.
No, he's too strong for that.
This is Quantum.
This has to be
No.
Today we're gonna clickbait, right?
Yeah, that's definitely clickbait. Quantum's never said I'm sorry in his life. Now Mischief's gonna be punching down every time he makes a joke about Quantum.
You know, the craziest part is his normal content is reviewing
technology.
TVs.
Yeah, it's technology based. And then for some reason he came out of nowhere saying like, if you play Elden Ring and like it, you're going to hell. He also treats the YouTube community tab like it's Twitter.
Oh lord.
He posts so often on here. Let me see if I can find that quick religious post he made about how everyone that doesn't like him is actually a Satanist. He was talking. Oh, he made a post. This one was so fucking weird. He made a post saying that people that don't like him have homosexual rituals where they have sex with their dad and practice Satanism. It was so fucking unhinged.
That's pretty cool.
He posted it in the community tab too, which means his subscribers got a notification with him saying that.
Oh god.
I wonder where that went though, because I didn't see it. It was a few days ago. It's on Actman's Twitter, is it? Let me see. This shit was crazy when I read it.
What an obtuse ass insult. Homosexuals that have sex with their dad. Like, what if you have sex with your dad and you're not homosexual? Like, what?
Oh, here, yeah. I guess it was a Discord post.
Satanist in disguise.
Every time I watch one of their videos, you can tell they're trying to brainwash the masses into their gay, liberal, satanic, atheist agenda. 1 minute someone could be watching Stop the FOMO, and the next minute they start having anal sex with their dads, doing coke, and trying to conjure demons with satanic rituals. Satanic influence isn't a joke. Bro, this guy's fucking wacky. This is what happens when you don't like Elden Ring. This is what you become.
We found the one.
Yeah. This shit was he had more posts like this in the community tab, but I guess they're gone. He was going hard though. Like
that's just
really on it. Like Chuck Tingle shit where he's talking about like having sex with dinosaurs or something for the sake of disrespecting God.
What's funny to me is
Chuck Tingle?
No.
Ace Attorney, Bigfoot at large?
Oh.
He's using God's name in vain to say that he hates other people. Like, it just doesn't.
It's true. Hey, don't poke holes in his worship. Everyone loves the Lord in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
Every one of these people are going to hell and suffer for eternity. They need an ass kicking from some Christians. Also, all the troll comments from satanic atheists are getting banned. All the satanic gay atheist people accusing me of being a coward for deleting my video, I only had to delete them because of YouTubers' gay agenda instead of people getting upset at me. Why don't they just let me be? Oh my god, this shit is so fucking crazy.
So he's extremely unhinged.
Yeah, this guy was reviewing TVs just 1 week ago. Can you believe that?
So you're saying because I fuck my dad, his channel's going down?
Because they're all heterophobic, anti-Christian pieces of shit. I don't want to participate in the anal sex the liberal people tell me to. I love to imagine, like, every day there's people knocking on his door trying to, like, bargain anal sex, just trying to convince him.
It's like, God, stop.
I'm not gonna do it.
I think he's just projecting. Maybe he just wants to fuck his dad.
Maybe he's, like, really wanting anal sex but can't find the right excuse.
Of YouTube.
Isn't it funny when people try to call you a bigot and a homophobe when they're literally exactly what they're trying to accuse you of being? Look at you. Literally look at what you're doing. It's rich watching you try to paint me as some sort of bigot as you literally are one.
He put up very, very hateful
God damn.
things towards the LGBTQ community, and I'm not just talking mean words. He actually wished death on them. Wishing death upon someone is another story. I seriously question your sanity.
Thanks for some
This is
cricket
what
and
Quantum
Chase.
TV wrote back.
Hey, Chase.
They deserve it. The world is better off without them forcing their lifestyle on it. These are your accounts that you had linked on
Damn,
your
this guy's
YouTube.
really... He's going
All of a sudden
wacky. He's
you're
posting
not
cringe on
responsible
main.
for them?
Yeah. Well, case closed.
Mr. TV.
He's innocent.
Would you please read the words on your channel banner?
Answer some
The
Keegan.
number one brand in honesty. Well, it should say the number one brand in lies. Take that! If your accounts were hacked and compromised, then why were these horrible offensive things left on your account after you regained control of it? Why is there no history or post we can refer to of you mentioning the hack back in 2018? Unless these accounts were under the hacker's control for the
The
last
editing is
4
fucking
years.
so laughing.
That's not the case either because you're racist, and I don't use any of these words lightly. David, fuck you and your hate speech against me. Calling me homophobic because I'm anti-gay support is all you liberals do. I'm pretty sure being
Isn't that like the
anti-gay
definition
is
of homophobic?
I've never pushed or forced my sexuality.
So confused.
What?
Yeah,
That's
that's
like-
not racist. I'm just anti other races.
What the fuck is this guy talking about?
Jesus.
Propaganda. Black Panther is racist and only the most hateful blacks like it.
Holy
Yes,
shit.
hello? What are the symptoms of brain damage?
Place for anybody else, okay?
There is one thing no community on YouTube
Yeah, I watched
tolerates,
Pound
and it's a
today.
copyright
We all did.
abuser.
I don't care about your opinion, dude. I care about the fact that you're nuts and you're toxic to this community.
Yeah, this is like the Jussie Smollett of fucking YouTube. 100%. That's the perfect description.
Here's your some funeral.
I suggest you make peace with whatever content you wish to publish on your channel before you see this screen again. And Quantum,
I hope it
gonna
goes to
see
court.
it again. I may not be able to offer
think that'd
a
be
cure
great.
for narcissism, but hopefully by shattering this
Imagine the
false
judge loves
reality and
Elden Ring.
sense of yourself, then perhaps maybe
Oh, that
whatever
was huge.
spell you're under, you will wake up from it. It's such a
Ask
shame.
him if he wants to,
And I was
uh,
planning on asking you about this new
plead
TV I was
insanity.
interested in.
Oh, I thought that was saying it already happened.
No.
Wait, the video wasn't published yet.
Damn. What a thorough deep dive.
Deep down, everyone's as ugly as you.
Jesus. So what was his video then with the apology thing? So what is this then if it's not like an actual video?
It's just a podcast.
Does he
What's
speak?
going on, everybody? Welcome to the Quantum TV podcast. So today we're going to talk about some things I've learned. Oh yes, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. This last month has been very entertaining, to say the least. I've learned quite a few things. For example, I've learned if you wake up on a Thursday afternoon, just, roll out of bed after using a bunch of slurs on Twitter, you can just hop online and apologize and everything goes away. Because you have a bright future ahead of you, or maybe you were a kid that is just having a bad day.
Man, this guy
Everybody's gonna
talks in
forgive
like the most annoying fucking way. He talks as if he's giving like a presentation in
He
class.
sounds like a really smarmy youth pastor.
Yes, smarmy is a good word for it. Like very like smelling of his own
Yep.
farts kind of thing.
100%.
Like I got a 15 on my ACTs, which was like above 50 percentile, so I feel good.
Like he literally takes like a wine glass, he sips, he's like, "You smell the 4 legs, child."
I don't want to look. Yesterday we were blessed with an action-packed evening of internet drama that had me on the edge of my seat for the better part of 2 hours. And I actually think there's something very important to discuss here, not so much with the soap opera itself between the two parties, but there was a little something that slipped during all of this that I think is a really big deal that I want to talk about. Now, I'll go ahead and break down the situation for you in case you weren't on Twitter, and if you weren't, God bless you, keep up the great work, you're doing amazing, champ. Now, it all started on Twitter, but it did spread to Twitch with competing live streams where one side was giving their take on the situation and the other side trying to debunk it. So, it spread like a virus, and it all started with a series of tweets from a content creator named Frosty. He came out with a series of tweets making big accusations against his former employer, 100 Thieves, basically just putting his ass in their face, making all kinds of big claims like them taking 95% of sponsorship deals, as well as a myriad of other problems that he had with the organization. I'm sure I don't need to explain who 100 Thieves is to you, they're one of the biggest names in gaming, but I'll go ahead and give you a brief lore recap just in case my grandma's watching and doesn't know who 100 Thieves is. 100 Thieves is a pro gaming organization started by a massive content creator named Nadeshot. They've been around for about 4.5 years now, and they have really taken the scene by storm. They have pro gaming teams as well as big content creators, and Frosty was part of one of their content creator teams called The Mob. The Mob sailed away from 100 Thieves some time ago, but Frosty has now come out with big claims against the org, talking about how shady and shitty they were. And in response to these tweets, Nadeshot, the founder of 100 Thieves, went live on Twitch to address the controversy directly. And I know Nadeshot doesn't own Arby's, but he brought the meat regardless. He spent about an hour and a half finally pan-searing Frosty's cheeks in front of 45,000 people. It was a pretty well done response to everything, and I do like Nadeshot. However, he said something and revealed something that a lot of people are writing off as okay when I don't think it should be. And that's the percentage that 100 Thieves takes of the sponsorship deals they bring to the creators. This is him debunking the 95% claim from Frosty.
That we took 95% of their sponsorship deals that we brought to the mob. That is unequivocally, undeniably, without a shadow of a doubt, untrue. It is absolutely untrue. There is no basis for Frosty to say this. At one point, I have an email that the key terms of these deals that we bring to the mob, we would retain 85% of revenue. We did 3 deals for them, and two out of the 3 deals, they took home 65% of the revenue from that deal. Okay, 65% of the revenue from that deal.
To me, that's not an amazing look. This is entirely wrong. This is the biggest load of fucking horseradish I've ever seen in my life. I don't know where this 95% number is coming from. It's actually 85. You know, like, that's not much better. Wiggling your finger, well, actually, it's 85% that we'll take up to. Now, Nadeshot, of course, does go a bit deeper into the weeds of it, saying that they did end up giving 65% to the mob for, like, one of their deals in particular, which was a $200,000 deal. They walked away with 120 grand, which means 100 Thieves took 80 grand. They got 35%. And that's still an outrageous amount. I have seen so many people defending this number, saying shit like, well, they wouldn't have had the sponsorships without 100 Thieves, so they're entitled to 85%. And they were generous enough to only take 35%. That is a fat, stinky L of a take right there. That kind of naive mentality is exactly why so many creators have been getting fucked in the face for the last 10 years online. Most creators, professional gamers, streamers, whatever, are pretty young, and they don't realize that they shouldn't be signing contracts that have something that extreme in them, like up to 85% we can retain from sponsorships. Even if it said like 35%, that's still a glaring red flag. They don't realize they're being exploited like that. Now, I don't think Nadeshot is doing this maliciously. This is just how the industry has been for about a decade, where the big businesses know that these people are young enough to not make a big hoopla about the sponsorship cut that they take, because to them, they're just making content, doing what they love, and getting some free money on the side because a company's finding ads for them. And then they'll take the lion's share of the ads when really they shouldn't. I think that's an absolute load of fucking dirty barnacles. You know, that's absolute fish paste. So I don't think Nadeshot's doing this from a place of like evil or greed. I'm pretty certain this is what he's always seen in the industry since he's been in it so long, but that's not the way it should be. I've talked about this a lot. I started a company back in 2018 with Matt. I even made a whole video talking about it publicly. It's called Human Media Group. It's a management company where we manage hundreds of creators, some of the biggest names on the platform. We bring them brands, ad deals, campaigns, all that stuff in order to help them stay monetized and make a living out of the content they love to produce. We started it because of this being the industry norm. I made a lot of deals on like the podcast as well as personally that were really predatory, and I didn't know any better. So over time, I learned with Matt, and we started this company to try and help my friends, and then it grew into just helping any and all creators. And with Human Media Group, we take on average 15% of sponsorship deals we bring the creators, but sometimes we'll even go as low as 10%. So between 10 and 15% is the cut we take from the sponsorship deals we bring to them. And that should be the norm. You should never sign something or agree to do business with someone that's going to be taking 35 or 85%, allowed 85% in the contract. That's disgusting. That's fucking disgusting. The absolute maximum you should be okay with is like 20%. That is the most any agent or company should ever possibly even toy with taking from the sponsorship deals. And I do understand the take people keep tossing around and regurgitating like a fucking mama bird feeding the baby bird, just vomiting it into each other's mouths. The take of, you know, they wouldn't have the sponsorship deals without 100 Thieves. You're right, but that doesn't mean they're entitled to 85% or even 35%. They're not doing the bulk of the labor. The onus is on the creators. They're doing the heavy lifting. The reason the sponsorship deal's there at all is because the creator is there and they're buying the slot from them. What 100 Thieves is doing, or what any management company does, is they facilitate that deal. They negotiate, they get the terms, and they bridge that. They bridge the deal. You can find deals on your own as a creator. You know, you can reach out to companies yourself. Sometimes companies even reach out to you. The reason why 100 Thieves or any management company at all exists and is effective is because most big brands don't reach out to individuals and don't accept people individually. They will take their ad campaign and their marketing spend to agencies or companies that have a big roster, and they'll buy bulk. They'll say, we have this campaign for this demographic and we want this many viewers. Who do you have for us? And that's when the company will provide you, if you're part of their roster, like 100 Thieves, they'll throw your name in there, and if they say yes, then you've got the deal. It's not like they're doing anything that entitles them to such a crazy cut of the sponsorship deal. It's just a pretty ludicrous notion. Yes, the companies like 100 Thieves or any management company does have access to brands that individuals won't, but still, it doesn't mean that they should be taking such a crazy amount from you either.
One of those deals, they made $30,000 each. It was a $200,000 deal. They walked away with $120,000, I believe it was. Okay? And what you don't understand is that we have to employ a partnerships team that needs to go out and source these deals. Then you have account management that handles, once that deal is sold, account management coordinates with everybody else within the company, whether it's marketing, whether it's content, whether it's a deal that is done with talent. And we have to incur labor expenses to make these things a reality.
All of those things he mentions there, Human Media Group also has, and I assure you 15% is still profitable. It's plenty. It's not as profitable as 35 or 85%, but it is plenty. It's not necessary to be taking such a high cut of those sponsorship deals. Now, I do understand that 100 Thieves is not a management company first and foremost. They are a professional gaming organization. They have content creators, they have pro gamers. I understand that, but they do have that management arm clearly, since he's mentioning this team. So I know that 35% is still outrageous. And I do get the argument that will inevitably be made that they only have like 20 creators they're getting sponsorship deals for, whereas Human Media Group has hundreds. So, you know, just going by scale, taking 15% of hundreds of deals is more profitable than taking 15% of 20. And that's a fine argument to make, like, I get it. However, those 20 creators that 100 Thieves has are massive. He mentions a $200,000 deal. That's one campaign. If you took just 15% of that, that's 30 grand from a single marketing campaign with a single member of the 100 Thieves community there. One single group. That's a great take home. It's not as much as the 80 they did take home, but 30 is plenty. So I just completely disagree with all the people defending this 85%, which I think is indefensible. But even the people defending the 35%, I just think that is still excessive, and we need to get past this idea that the companies that are getting the sponsorship deals are the ones that deserve the biggest cut of it or a massive cut of it. because that's just not how it should be. It should be the creators getting the bulk of that deal, because the deal is there because the creator's there in the first place, right? Like, it's just, we're getting it backwards now. We're starting to go in reverse here. So I just wanted to get that point across, that I think 100 Thieves, if it's 85% for all their creators, is outrageous, or even 35%, it's way too high. Now, I do want to go into a bit more just to conclude the entire situation here with the drama. I think overall Nadeshot came out of this looking significantly better than Frosty. One of the big claims Frosty made is that they were completely broke when they were signed with 100 Thieves. They were forced to move to West LA, and their salary didn't enable them to like have any quality of life, talking about like having to skip meals sometimes to pay rent, and that they were living in a $10,000 a month house. And that is true. According to Nadeshot, they did get encouraged to go out to West LA. However, they chose the $10,000 house. And even on Frosty's own stream, he tried to make a point saying West LA is so expensive that, you know, all we could do was take a $10,000 house. But then he goes on Zillow and immediately proves himself wrong, just spits in his own face. He brings up other cheaper alternatives. There were some for like $5 or $6 grand a month as opposed to $10K a month. So they were cheaper alternatives where they didn't have to dump their entire salary into rent. But overall, I don't think they should have been forced to go to LA in general. No one should be. LA sucks. I fucking hate LA. I'm just not a fan. I think it's way too expensive. Their salaries were $2,500 each, and that doesn't go a long way in LA, so I don't think they should have been forced to go there anyway, but they did make a mistake choosing such an expensive place to live. Nadeshot said it was their choice to live there, and it was. He confirmed that. There were cheaper alternatives that they didn't even consider, I guess. So overall, a lot of the responsibility fell on Frosty, and a lot of these claims seem to be baseless. But it's a lot of just he said, she said. But again, I think Nadeshot came out of this looking much better. I think he did a great job of defending himself, and Frosty kind of made a fool of himself, especially towards the end where he said this.
You literally provided no proof? Bro, because for me to provide proof, like, what is there to provide proof of? Like, why would I be lying? Like, I would have to show text messages. Like, this is what I mean, bro. This is why I wanted to wait.
You were the one that made the claims. You should have, like, something, I would expect. And what do you mean there's no reason for you to lie? You have plenty to gain out of lying. Well, you know, clout. You got, what, 30,000 concurrent viewers during your stream debunking it? And you hadn't streamed in 3 months, and before that we're averaging a couple hundred? Like, there was so much to gain out of a controversy like this. There's plenty of incentive to lie. At the very least, Nadeshot was open and honest about things, even something as bad as the 85% of the sponsorship deal thing. Nadeshot also pulled up metrics to talk about like how they weren't doing content and certain things. Nadeshot did come with receipts as well as like actual evidence to back up what he was saying to defend the company. Frosty spent the whole stream just saying stories and like talking about things in a roundabout way. A lot of times it just seemed like straight up entitlement, like he was expecting them to bend over backwards to do everything to make them happy at all hours of the day. And so the stream didn't go super well for Frosty. I don't think he did a great job of like proving his claims. Maybe he'll come forward with like actual evidence to support these things in the future, but for now it does look like Nadeshot like did the best here in this situation. I just wanted to talk about mainly the sponsorship thing since that's what I took a big issue with. So, the drama I want to follow up on today is one I talked about earlier, a couple days ago. The YouTuber who got 150 videos taken down by Toei Animations in a single day. It was more like a single hour, it feels like, but his shit got fucking tanked by Toei because he covered, like, Dragon Ball, he covered One Piece, and they're just fucking awful. I've said for a long time, anime studios and a lot of just Japanese companies in general are super out of touch and afraid of the internet. They treat the internet like the boogeyman. Nintendo used to strike channels if they even played Mario Kart. They even banned streamers because they played Hyrule Warriors an hour early because Nintendo didn't realize there's different time zones. So some time zones just had the game come out earlier. It's just they're super out of touch and afraid of the internet. So this channel, Totally Not Mark, got fucking blasted 3 days ago. 150 videos gone. And now there's this update which I haven't watched yet. I started it a little bit, but then decided it'd be better just to watch it all on stream so that way we could all see what's going on together. Since it's a story I'm pretty interested in. I think people misunderstand how difficult it is. So when a company like Toei Animations does what they did to this guy, which is put their dick in his mouth, when they take down that many videos, it becomes a legal thing. It's not a YouTube-specific platform thing. It is an actual legal battle that you have to fight. That's why it's so time-consuming, and that's also why YouTube is extremely hands-off, because they don't want to get engaged in a legal battle. Especially not with Toei Animations. They have so much money to toss around. Now, he mentioned in the last one he could go through and manually dispute each one, but it takes a long time to resolve it that way. It's extremely tedious.
Per the request of my contact at YouTube, I spent over 3 hours filing disputes, and the next morning, less than 12 hours later, Toei responded to each and every claim. This is...
Look, I love this shit. Look at the timing on this. Both of these are within a minute. They've got some real fucking speed readers over there. Some kind of supercomputer that's built for nothing but fucking people in the ass on the internet. That's impressive. Manually reviewed, too. Oh my god, they're incredible. They were able to somehow manually review all of these in 25 minutes. Sometimes in the same minute. Impressive.
This time, of the 150 videos that I disputed, Toei released 19. Of the 150 claims,
Wait, that's not bad.
19 videos.
That's pretty
And
good.
I think that by looking at these...
We take those.
No.
So I'd like to quickly just bring you up to speed on the lore with what's happening in this new arc of the Totally Not Mark vs. Toei Animations anime. I didn't want to just let his video completely play, so I'm just going to go ahead and give you like the cliff notes of what's happening so far. So right now Mark has mentioned that over the last couple of days he's gotten a lot of support, which is great, and he hasn't really had a lot of support from YouTube specifically. Everyone he's talked to has been very robotic and unhelpful, which isn't surprising because in cases like these, YouTube doesn't really do shit. The most they'll do is tell you to turn your computer off and on and see if that fixes it. They treat it like the world's worst tech support. They'll sometimes just fucking link you to frequently asked questions, and that's like their way of helping you somehow. Like, there's not a whole lot that they offer in a case like this, and Mark brings that up. And yeah, it absolutely sucks. They just wipe their ass with Mark's case here in hopes that he settles it himself without them needing to do anything. And then Mark goes in to explain that he has gone through and appealed all of the cases, and as of the time he posted that video, 19 of the videos were actually reinstated. Which is great, but that's obviously a small number in comparison to how many were taken down. And they still withheld their decision to keep those taken down, but for some reason relinquished 19 of them, even though those 19 are also exactly the same as the other 150 in that they're fair use. So it was weird that they singled out 19 random videos from 150. If 19 of them were okay, then all of 150 should have been okay, but clearly this wasn't like an actual manual review from Toei Animations. They just went through and just fucking started slapping their keyboard, and 19 of them for some reason got unbanned.
But they're cool with literally the entire Battle of Gods movie, the entire Resurrection F movie, and the entire Broly movie to be freely available on YouTube. Seriously, check it out. Look it up. They're there.
I'm gonna look that up right now. I bet they're gone now. Just a hunch. Dragon Ball Super Brawly Dublado. I'm wrong, it's still up. Nice, this guy's got a good run going. Toei Animations is powerless against Anime Power PI.
Closer now.
Check if that video has licensing. My man, I'll do it, but I can say with a high level of confidence, Anime Power PI did not pay Toei Animations for licensing right to re-upload the entire movie on YouTube. But you know what? Let's double check. Perhaps I am also underestimating the supervillain of piracy known as Anime Power. No, this is probably an official channel, actually, now that I look at it. Oh, yeah. Oh my god. This is where Toei Animations goes to die. They don't want to fuck with this guy. His dublados are nuts.
And that is when, right in the middle of another email conversation I was having with YouTube support, the person I was dealing with was relieved of their duties mid-conversation, and someone else took over.
They fired him? Are you talking to Mark? Don't you realize Toei Animations assassins want him dead? You're out of here. Pack up your things and get out of the office. It's also not super uncommon. I remember back when I was like with Maker Studios, I went through like 12 different channel managers over the course of a couple years. They cycle these people out like crazy. They fucking use them like condoms and throw them away constantly. I guess it's the same at like any big tech company though, I suppose.
told me that they had seen my video and then proceeded to tell me not to talk to any other YouTube support folks and to instead just talk to them. And here I thought I was going to get a YouTube manager. Oh well, what did they have to say? Maybe they can help me get my 136 videos back. Well, no. In effect, this person, while they once again felt less like a robot talking to me, what they could offer was largely the same as before. Nothing I haven't already heard or tried. But I think the most frustrating part of all of this was at the end of the email, they give me advice for moving forward.
Thanks, Resub,
and
Sing,
they link
and Maddie.
to the frequently asked questions tab on the Google support page.
And did it help?
Before moving
the
on,
FAQs, did they solve
I
it?
define my positions, which, as you can see, I openly and happily encourage people to support.
To be honest, if I were you, I'd start like maybe taking some of these down. I don't know, fuck Toei. I'd replace this with anything else. Put Godslap here. I don't care, man. But at this point, I wouldn't have this shit up here at all. I don't care how much you love the property. If they're just gonna come in here and skull fuck you for no reason, I would not have this here until that's fixed. Fuck Toei.
Hundreds, if not thousands of people that have made posts, videos, and calls to action on my behalf and my team's behalf. I'll never be able to repay all of your kindness and support you've extended to me and my team.
Well, this is wholesome.
But until such time this ends in change or the circumstances improve, the thousands of people that have my back are going to be the only ones that will pay. And so because of this, I will be donating my portion of the wages generated to a charity I will announce later in this video.
What a wholesome guy. Holy shit.
親愛なる東映アニメーション著作権局様へ。まずはじめにこのメッセージ
That's a pretty interesting idea.
誠にありがとうございます。私は自分の仕事と家族や従業員を
I actually think that's pretty smart.
失うかもしれない窮地に
I have never seen this attempted.
私は思っています。だから私はあなたたちの作品を盗もうとする人々を
Maybe that is super interesting. So one thing I do know about Japanese companies is they value like the Japanese consumer far more than like a Western audience. So I guess if this got legs in Japan, it'd really improve his chances, I think. Because again, the only way he can really fight them, he's not going to beat them legally. I think there's a 0% chance that happens. But if pressure mounts to, you know, like I'm going to stop buying Toei products, I'm not going to, you know, do a cum tribute on the latest Luffy figurine or anything like that. Like if they start taking a reputational hit, I feel like there's a good chance they just release it and like just say it's not worth it, you can just have your videos back. So I think it's a pretty interesting idea to try and get legs there in Japan for the movement.
同時に争うことはできないので、今回の150件の申し立て
Wait, I didn't know that. You can't dispute more than 2 claims at a time? Oh, I had no fucking idea, actually. So that's where the 30 years would come into play? Holy shit. That's kind of wacky. I didn't know there was a limit to it. I thought it was just because of how long those things typically take for a company to respond. I didn't realize there was an actual cap on how many you can be like engaged with, so you can only like double fist that you can't double fist them.
もし私に選択肢があるならば、私の動画が日本で公開されないように完全に差し替えたいです。しかし、YouTube のシステム上、私にその権限はありません。そして、
Yeah, so basically, he wants the video. Yeah, for anyone that just came in. His videos got taken down by Toei. He wants them put back up with like a block on Japan if that's the problem. Which is something YouTube does. Videos can be blocked by a region, but you can't manually set a region block on your content. Which I didn't know about. I've never thought to do that. I never thought like one day came up where I was like, hey, you know, fuck Estonia in particular. I'm going to block my shit over there. But his solution is put the videos back up and we can block them in Japan. If that's what needs to be done, that's no problem. Which I think is a good idea, if that is the problem. But he doesn't have the power to do that himself. It'd have to be Toei Animations that does that.
あなた方の会社から返還されていません。そのため、私自身と世界中の何十万人もの人たち
Ooh, I like that. Kind of putting a threat in
の映
there.
画をサポートすることを
This feels like something out of Death Note now.
そしてこれが今後他の YouTuber にも起こり続けるとなると何百万人もの人々がボイコットをする可能性が大いにあります。
Oh, there's 2 separate ones. So what is... what kind of power does Oda have? Doesn't he just make One Piece? I don't think he could really, like, hop on the Toei Animations YouTube page and unblock his videos, right? So is the idea to put pressure on Oda, who has a lot of pull within the company? I don't really know, like, how that's structured, but I do remember, like, the Bleach guy, what's his name, Kubo? Kubo used to get slapped around by, like, the, what was it? Shonen Jump? My god, they abused that man. And he was one of the most popular the most popular manga creators there is. So I imagine Oda's got to be kind of in that same boat, right? Or maybe I'm just wrong. Maybe I just don't understand how huge One Piece is.
私を含むすべてのファンから謹んでお願いを
Is
申し
there
上
a
げ
dub
ます。
for this?
ファンたちは海賊版行為と戦い、東映アニメーションからお金を稼ぐつもりはありません。私たち
Sorry
は
to keep pausing, but this is pretty interesting. I haven't seen this. I think it's an overall really good approach, at least with the first part to Toei. I just don't know anything about Oda, like how much power he commands. Is this something he could even see? With the way they treat some talent in Japan, like back to Johnny and Associates, Kimura wasn't even allowed to have a social media account until 2019. They would not even allow him on the internet. He was forbidden. So is there a chance Oda can even see this? Or is he just totally on a different level? He's very connected to his community. So I'm seeing between 0% and like a 10% chance he can see it, from what I'm gathering here. So it does seem like he pays attention to the community. So then it doesn't seem like a bad idea at all. Even if it's a slim chance, it's better than 0. Again, like, at this point, with his entire livelihood being threatened for no fucking reason, it's worth trying if there's even a slim chance.
小田先生と小田先生の名作を
This is weird. So I've seen this on Twitter, and now I see it here. This guy steals their content and then makes someone else make an apology. Well, A, he's not stealing content, and B, he's not making an apology. It even came across like a little bit of a threat towards the end there, which I fucking respect. Throw your whole meat on the table. Fuck Toei. He's not stealing anyone's content. It's no different than reviewing for movies or games or anything. It's the same way. It's the same exact thing. He does an analytical breakdown of the content. Like, it's not even close. He's not doing, like, what was her name? Like Susie, who just puts her face cam while watching Naruto. That's not the same thing. He breaks it down and talks about it from a storyteller's perspective and going over, like, the entire purpose of why it exists. It's a really dumb take. At no point is he stealing any content. Even when he uses clips from the show or from the manga, that is totally within his right to do that. Reviewers do it all the time for other properties without issue. It's only for anime that they take this supreme stance where, like, unless we give you permission via our pigeon carriers, you don't have our blessing, and we will fuck you up. It's very dumb. Like, it's super silly. Yeah, I think even if that's a super slim chance Toei or Oda sees that, it was at least worth trying. Pretty much out of options. You can't beat a company like that legally. They can abuse it all day because no one can really afford all of those fees. Hopefully that works. He got 19 videos back apparently, so it's at least moving in the right direction. That would also be an extremely big W for the platform as a whole. If Mark's case swings in his favor, that's good for pretty much anyone on YouTube. That's good for fucking Trash Taste, that whole gang, and pretty much anyone who covers manga. That sets a precedent. And I think that's pretty important. If nothing else, though, at least he didn't get striked for them. So even if it doesn't win, it doesn't result in a W, he will at least be able to keep creating. And maybe just never touch anything Toei related again. Which is also pretty shitty because One Piece is the biggest anime thing ever. So to have a company focused on the discussion and breakdown of anime and manga and not be able to talk about the biggest one ever is also super bad for the company. So not a great resolution. Hopefully it'll all just get handled. But to stand in solidarity with Mark, I won't be watching the new Dragon Ball Super movie. Even though I don't think I was going to anyway, because the title of it was enough to make me not want to. It's called like Dragon Ball Super, Superhero, Super Turbo or something. But now I will absolutely not even think about it for a moment. Because fuck them. I'm still watching One Piece. I'm still on episode 46. I keep falling asleep. It's been a little over a month and a half since I got to episode 46, but this one's a real siren song. It is putting me to sleep every night. I know it's a filler episode, but I already made the commitment to just watch it all. But like I said, One Piece is doing exactly what I needed to do. It's putting me to sleep. And when I finish an episode, it's like, hey, that was cool. I finished one. Yeehaw. And then when I fall asleep during it, it's like, man, I slept great. Thanks, One Piece. Toei stock fell $190. What the fuck? Are they publicly traded? Oh! Wow! Wow! Toei is killing it! Man, that's weird. It looks like the strategy of targeting a YouTube channel is really not panning out. Granted, I don't think it's a direct correlation. I don't think their stock is hitting bedrock because of them going after Totally Not Mark, but I like to think that it's related in some way. You know, kind of like an anime, where when a character does some fucked shit and then they pay the consequence a few episodes later, that's kind of what's happening here, right? Oh, you love to see that. You know, if Mark's videos and messages to Toei don't really get there, I think if this keeps tanking, maybe at some point they'll be like, alright, what's going on now? What's happening? This video is so new, it's not even showing up in his uploads yet. He posted a video less than a minute ago. Hold on, why isn't it coming up for me? Oh, here it is.
This is going to be my last video addressing and updating what's been going on with Toei Animation.
Tier 1 free
I say that not because I've heard anything from them or YouTube, because I haven't. It's not because I haven't felt an enormous amount of support from so many people, because I have. It's actually for an entirely different reason I never thought would be a factor, and that's me.
Now, this is the conclusion to the whole Toei Animation thing. Mark made this video thanking everyone for the support, but stating he doesn't want to continue this kind of situation any further. He doesn't really want a boycott of Toei or anything, and just the stress of the entire situation has really had like a toll on his overall well-being recently, which I completely understand and respect. And the whole thing is just such a fuck situation. I truly do hope Toei Animations reverses this decision, and I'm hopeful that something good can come from all of this. Even Mark just talking about the situation I think is extremely helpful to the YouTube community and seeing what's going on and what can happen and like what to kind of do about it to at least try and fight back. Overall, it's just a really upsetting conclusion, and hopefully within the next month or so, they will do something. Now, Mark might not support a boycott of Toei, but I certainly will not be participating in anything Toei related. I won't be purchasing any of their material or watching their new Dragon Ball movie or anything like that, because fuck them. I think what they're doing here is disgusting, and I don't want to be giving money to a company that does this shit. And not just to Mark, they've done this for years, and they continue to do this, and it doesn't seem like they're going to show any signs of stopping. So, I won't be supporting them, and it's just really fucking frustrating. Now, I don't think Mark was advised by like a legal team or anything to post a video like this. It's not like he did anything wrong. He wasn't threatening the company. He was simply stating like some people feel betrayed by Toei seeing how they handle themselves online like this. He was just saying what's currently going on. That's not a threat to Toei. He's not in like any legal hot water or anything. I really think it was just this situation being so stressful, he just wants it to be put behind him, which again, I completely understand. And yeah, I just wanted to share this with all of you just to bring you all up to speed. There was something oh, Gunner. I saw Gunner posted a new video. I didn't see what it was on though. The Addison Rae Trainwreck reality show. Addison Rae Goes Home. I don't remember, is that the one that's like a bunch of influencers in a house or some shit?
TikTok star who broke the mainstream and now has her very own terrible reality TV show on Snapchat. Because who doesn't love watching TV vertically, where for every 10 seconds of show, you get 15 seconds of ads? What a deal. On the upside, it makes it easier for teens to go back and forth. She was in an awful movie last year. She's been making music. She's in commercials.
Wait, I love awful influencer movies. What was that one? He's All That, I think?
She was in an awful...
He's All That. Addison Rae and... Who the fuck is Tanner Buchanan? This looks like Jay Schlatt when he uses that attractive man filter. Is this a real human being or like an android? Has anyone seen this? Thanks to the gift sub Speed Razor and the resub Agate Rock and Rex. Thank you for that. We're watching some goofy shit. Let's see what this is. I'll probably watch this. I love these awful movies. I really do. He's All That is an American 2021 romantic teen comedy film directed by Mark Waters. We got any Mark Waters fans in here? What's he made? Mark Waters is the genius behind such bangers like Magic Camp, Bad Santa 2, I know that one, Vampire Academy, and Mr. Popper's Penguins. Oh, and Sorry Haters and Mean Girls. And Freaky Friday. Whoa! And Freaky Friday. Wait just a minute.
Just look at that cover picture. Of course, she's on her phone, probably making a TikTok. Sorry, working. Looking an awful lot more southern than usual. Laying on a pile of hay or grass or just general debris. Addison Rae returns to her roots in Louisiana.
That is a cool picture.
It's brought me a lot of love, but with that comes a lot of hate.
Oof.
Now, I'll be going back home to Louisiana for a week with my mom, dad. I wonder if it'll be like it used to.
It's a single.
What a weird premise. What? What? Well, now that I'm super rich and famous, I have to wonder, will I be able to mingle with the plebeians again, or am I just too far above them to comprehend that kind of poor nature? I'll have to find out by experimenting in the swamp. What is the idea of this show? Isn't she like 20 years old and she's only been doing TikTok for like a year and a half, 2 years or something? Why wouldn't she fit in all of a sudden? If she doesn't fit in, it's because she's the fucking problem.
Still nervous to see my friends and family who knew me before everything. I just hope they remember I'm the same person they've always known.
It's giving Hannah Montana movie. I've only seen the show, but big facts. The premise of it.
It's like she's fucking Jekyll and Hyde or like Bruce Wayne and Batman. My parents or my family knew me before I became TikTok famous. Now they won't even recognize me. I've undergone a metamorphosis into a beautiful butterfly of clout.
Growing up, my family and I ate a shit ton of crawfish.
So
on Snapchat saying shit? That's kind of big.
How did you like handle that public breakup? Like, what did you do to like, okay, I'm okay, everything's gonna be fine.
What a normal conversation.
Like, not falling apart. Has like being in that public relationship before changed your opinion on like when you want to pursue a new relationship?
Man, what are you, like a spy or something?
This isn't how friends ask questions. I will now rephrase that question into how Addison Rae's 21-year-old friend would actually ask it.
Oh man, he's method acting. He's going in.
So do you and Bryce still fuck? End scene. Thank you.
Damn, this guy's good.
Thank you. Good night. I was just dancing in my room and now I use $100 bills as napkins. Feels weird and scary. Am I being provocative again? Absolutely. I just think narrated slow-mo shots of you looking introspective might be the worst way to come off relatable. But that's what this show is all about, right? Addison appearing to be relatable. So
What is this? Can you look at like Snapchat numbers? I'm curious. Do people actually watch this and enjoy it? What was this called again? Addison Rae Going Ghost? Oh, you can like individually subscribe to shows on Snapchat. So her show has 497,000 subscribers. Is there like reviews? Well, there has to be because he brought one up. Because I don't even understand who this is supposed to appeal to. Because let's say I'm an 8-year-old girl. I'm a big Addison Rae fan. Why the fuck am I gonna watch her just go home? What is there for, like, I'm there to just watch her do TikTok trendy dances. Why the fuck do I care if she goes home? Kids don't care, man. I guess, but I remember when I was a kid, I still, like, watched things where, like, things happen. This is, granted, we've only seen clips here. This is literally nothing happening. It's slow-mo shots, and then, I guess, an interview? Do people not review these things? Because I can't find shit. I did. I even typed in just general review to see what critics are saying, but no one's even mentioning it. Closest thing I found is this guy who wrote an article with a quote from her saying, "A lot of people say I dropped out of school for TikTok, and I don't think I dropped out of school for TikTok. It was because I knew that this was a career path that I've always wanted to pursue, kind of, in the entertainment industry." But you were literally saying right there that you dropped out for TikTok. People are confused by that, and they think I dropped out because of the app, but it was really to focus on pursuing my career in the entertainment industry and moving out here too. On TikTok. You dropped out for TikTok. It was your entertainment industry. I don't know why she's like embarrassed of it. Just like embrace it. She's made a very successful career out of it, and I can't find any reviews, so I'm just going to assume everyone loves it.
Gussie, one of my best friends growing up and still today.
I'm sorry, Gussie? Her name's Gussie? I'm not.
No, it's a nickname.
Sure you made that up to make her look more grounded in Louisiana. You see, I actually looked up the number of babies named Gussie over the years. On this chart, notice how it kind of stops in 1952. I guess one slipped through the cracks.
Regardless of everything that's happened in the past, got me. It's so rare to find a friendship like we have. That's what I feel like I've been struggling with.
Why are they both wearing cowboy hats in the rain
be able to feel like not judged. Even people that I know
on a picnic?
Like, it's hard to find people to trust, like truly, because a lot of people don't have your best interest or like will use things against you. Like my vulnerability and like kindness has been taken advantage of so many times in LA.
My sister in Christ, let her speak. Your best friend so far has said,
We were definitely the girls at school that were a little bit different.
Thanks for some Darren
we
and
did
Toad.
photo shoots together and liked the same type of music.
we were definitely the weird girls in school. We took pictures, we liked music, we were the outcasts of society. Where'd you go to school, Addison? Rikers? You just named the most basic bitch shit and claimed it as personality. Sometimes on the weekend, we would go to the mall and get
That is
Chick-fil-A
pretty wild.
fries. We were crazy. I thought you were trying to look
Loose
relatable in
cannons.
this series. You're losing me.
We used to literally do photo shoots every day.
That is pretty unique.
And they were cool.
Remember we like dreamt about LA forever. Since 8th
What are
grade.
these conversations?
How can we get there? How can we get there now?
Well, you can always come whenever you want. Just let me know your dates and I'll write you in the calendar.
Ugh, remember when we dreamed of living in LA and now I'm there and you're still here? I'll calendar you in though, and we'll review it and someone will reach out.
That's the
and
way to do
know
it.
If maybe I'm free. Oh my god, actually we could use
Gussie's
another
following
writing
isn't big
assistant
enough.
For my TikToks.
They won't allow her in
Oh my
California.
God, you could graduate high school, get famous, move from home, and your parents come with you to ride off your success. I don't entirely blame them. They saw she was making money. Your parents come
Wait,
with you
what
to
is
ride off
mom
your
doing
success.
over?
I don't
Jesus
entirely
Christ!
blame them. They saw she was making
fucking
money.
busting it wide open.
American Suck one. We're coming for the Hollywood Hills. Brother Enzo Lopez joined season 7 cast of Chicken Girls. Thanks, Just Jared Jr. for pummeling into this kid that he's only known as Addison Rae's brother.
So after
God, isn't that the fucking worst? I see that shit all the time for like those celebrity siblings. Where the fuck is that headline? There it is. They do that for like everyone. Oh, there was one I just read. And no, not E-Rob, Tyler's brother. What the fuck was it? Oh my god. Hold on, this is gonna make me really upset. Not the Hemsworth. You guys know there is a third Hemsworth brother though? There's Liam, Chris, and then one other guy. I don't know his name.
Be sure to subscribe and turn on post notifications on, as well as follow me on Instagram at Gunnar Klein. I heard that account is giving off major Sagittarius vibes these days. And consider becoming a member on Patreon so you can help fund my reality TV show, Gunnar Goes to Vegas. That's another joke. I prefer Miami. With that said, good day, y'all.
Whoa, what the
Someone please go
fuck?
check on Gussie now.
Nobody prefers Miami. Jesus. Man sleeps with his socks on and prefers Miami? I mean, I guess Miami is better than, like, hell, I suppose. I'm sure a lot of you have seen all of the FaZe drama that's been going on Twitter over the last couple days. And FaZe is something I've talked about quite a bit over the last year because it's been an absolute circus. From their stock absolutely flatlining to the point now where it's basically just a sad joke. Just look at this graph, it puts a tear in your eyes. It's more tragic than the ending to Marley and Me. It's just been crazy to see them circle the drain like this and have this wild fall from grace. Because they're one of the very few gaming-focused brands that branched out into the mainstream. Like, most people have probably heard of FaZe at some point in their life, even people that aren't associated with gaming. So they really did blow up in a big way, and now there's like a war going on between like the founders of FaZe versus the corporate suits that now control FaZe, and it's all just been bubbling over and becoming this massive shitstorm, and everyone's getting covered in the filth. It's getting stinky. Now, the first domino that fell in this FaZe soap opera is the OGs came forward like FaZe Rain and Banks and started criticizing the brand overall, talking about how it's become soulless and lame and just generally horrible. The main talking point is how the founders have lost control of the company to these zombies in suits that just don't understand the space. And they also show no respect to the founders that brought it there in the first place. They overrule them, they have no real decision-making power. Thus, the decision phase, the direction FaZe has been going over the last few years has been a negative one. And most people can probably agree with that. FaZe hasn't exactly been hitting home runs recently over the last couple years. So the founders have been talking about how disappointed they are with FaZe in its current state. And then FaZe Rain recently has just been leaking tons of information, like internal stuff, financials. He's been leaking more than the faucet in my college dorm room. He has been going hog wild with tons of information. And most recently, he was focusing on their numbers, like their actual numbers with their spend as well as what they're making. He made a video going over their financials, talking about how much they spend on certain games in the esports space, as well as the lack of return they see from it, even disclosing Nick Merck's salary for being on FaZe, which is like $1 million a year, and he just goes over how much they're spending and how they're not seeing any of that money. It's just fucking vanishing into thin air and just like literally bleeding them dry on finances. According to a lot of his numbers here, they're spending over $700,000 a month on like esports stuff. That's crazy, and they're not seeing any money come back into the company, which isn't exactly an eyebrow raiser. This is something everyone speculated for a long time because it's become very clear to actually every single person with eyes that the entire esports scene just doesn't make any money. What's wrong, Io? I don't know why the esports scene is so shit for generating profit. I have no idea. I don't have the answers. What's wrong? I've upset Io mentioning this. Because it is heartbreaking. Like, esports is a scene that you get in for passion, and you see a lot of orgs start to close their doors because they just can't stay afloat. It's very expensive, and you don't make anything. So Rain was going over their numbers, which I do believe because like the information he's been leaking has so far been confirmed accurate, and he's just talking about like how much money they're losing, and it's a lot. Over 700,000 clams, over 700,000 pristine doubloons is a ton of cash. That's nuts. To convert that to Robux, I wouldn't even know where to start. You'd need like fucking 50 zeros at the end of that number. It's a lot of money that they are pissing away and not getting anything back from. So he started revealing these numbers. More OGs came forward to talk about how upsetting it is to see the direction that the brand has gone and that it's completely lost its identity. The people at the top of the food chain don't understand the culture, so it's trash. All of these statements from the OGs then led to this like Marvel civil war within FaZe, where you had the OGs versus the people at the top and also new generation FaZe members. So a lot of the audience was on the OG side and a lot of the audience on the new side, and it's just been this constant clashing. And yesterday it really festered into something pretty foul. So just to give context here, it started with this tweet from FaZe Clan where they said, "We want more women in FaZe Clan." To which FaZe Rain replied saying, "Spoiler alert, it's Grace, and the only reason I heard was because she was on one episode of Stranger Things." He's referring to Grace Van Dien, who is a streamer named Bluey and also was in Stranger Things. So it turns out he was 100% right, because yesterday FaZe announced that Grace Van Dien is joining the FaZe family. Now, this all led to a lot of hubbub, a lot of discussion, and a lot of controversy. And with a very public fallout between the OG FaZe founders and current FaZe, people were already on edge. It also really didn't help with the FaZe tweet about wanting more women in the organization, because that got the community excited, thinking that FaZe was about to make a big signing from someone who's been grinding in the scene for a long time, working hard for an opportunity like joining FaZe, and then turns out they had already made their decision when they had made that tweet. So that was kind of a bad look, and it didn't do anything good for Grace because it put her in an uncomfortable position where the community was upset that she got the opportunity being a relatively new streamer. They thought that they had signed her just because she's a celebrity. So some members of the community got upset at Grace directly, which I think is super misguided. There's plenty to critique about FaZe signings and business decisions, but Grace didn't do anything wrong here. She does stream often and then had this opportunity to join a huge org. Yes, being an actress did obviously help her get this opportunity for sure, but at the very least she seems excited about it and does actively stream, which is already more than you can say for half of their celebrity signings. Like Snoop Dogg, for example. They paid him a fat load of money, as well as stock, in FaZe in order for him to be on board the FaZe family. And all he ever did was take a single photo with them, and then the word FaZe never left his lips again. He must have been hit by a Men in Black neuralizer that erased his memory of FaZe Clan entirely, because he never did anything with them, in spite of getting all of this money and this stock. And it wasn't just him. They've done this for multiple other celebrities too. Like Kyler Murray, who I'm pretty sure all of you watching didn't even know was part of FaZe Clan at any point. I didn't until I watched Ludwig's Mogul Mail on it. I had no idea Kyler Murray signed with FaZe, but he did. Kyler Murray never even mentioned FaZe Clan a single time. Not once. After joining. But in this case, Grace is an active streamer, thus will be presenting the FaZe brand to her audience, and she seems extremely excited about doing things in collaboration with FaZe, which is infinitely more than any celebrity that FaZe has signed recently. So I really feel that the anger directed towards Grace is just a little weird. The focus should instead be placed on how out of touch FaZe has become with the decisions they make. For example, this was also mentioned in Ludwig's Mogul Mail, but it's something I've talked about as well, where FaZe had that whole super expensive reality show where, who wants to be the next FaZe member? So you want to be a FaZe superstar, do ya? Well, hop on board the Polar Express here for this FaZe show. And they put so much money into it, and only like 6 people ever watched it. Like, they dump money into this completely geriatric, dumb ideas like that reality show that no one cares about, no one gets excited for. And all of their YouTube content is beyond dead. And no matter how much mouth-to-mouth they give it, they can't revive it. They can't get that heartbeat back, no matter how much they try, because they just don't know what they're doing or what direction to take FaZe. It's become very corporate, and most people don't vibe with it anymore. And it's also led to new FaZe members fighting with the old FaZe members, so they're like actually butting heads and, throwing down in the Twitter replies against each other. So it's just been so much fighting and drama with FaZe because the founders lost control of the company, and the direction it's gone has only further decayed the brand to the point where it's at 55-cent stock price and kind of just like a joke in the industry outside of some of their esports teams. Like, they are still doing really well in the games they're in for the most part. Not entirely all of them, but a large chunk of them, their esports teams are still top of the line. So it's just a shame to see how bad things are behind closed doors at FaZe. And now those doors aren't even fucking closed anymore. Those doors have been kicked open. The entire public is being exposed to all of the dirty laundry of FaZe, and all of it's happening publicly. I am still shocked FaZe Rain was even able to release all of the information he has without getting sued. I would have thought they would have had so many NDAs out the wazoo on FaZe Rain, but he's just been revealing everything. So I'm starting to believe they probably just forgot about him and all of the founders, so they never even bothered to NDA them. So he'll probably just continue to share shit without repercussion. So I'm pretty excited to see what else he starts bringing to the public eye with FaZe. But anyway, I kind of wanted to talk about all of this because I just find it so fascinating and generally sad to see the state of FaZe. Like I said, it was one of the few gaming brands that broke into the mainstream and had like a very wide appeal to people even outside of the space, which is nothing shy of impressive. So to see what it's become is just wild, and to see how it continues to unfold is shocking. And I wanted to talk about it a little bit. I don't know how it recovers, I really don't. Like, even if it does get back into the hands of the OGs, I still don't exactly know how they right the ship right now. I don't know how they fix all the damage that's been done to the brand. They probably have to start over, like, at the very bare bones level and build it all again. Because it's just been so tarnished, and they've lost so much money as well. I just don't know exactly how you fix it, but
there's a cartoon called Bluey that's probably one of the most popular children's properties at the moment. At least I think so, based on everything I see. It's hard to know for sure because what I see from Bluey is people fighting about it, like on Twitter all the time. There's like this constant war raging about Bluey and adults watching Bluey or whatever. And I just don't really know anything about the show other than it's a very popular kids program. But anyway, it's become so popular that now people have started to do their own little like Bluey meet and greets where they'll buy a costume from wish.com, throw it on and say, hey, come on over, we're doing a big Bluey event at our local business. It's our restaurant, and Bluey stopped in and said, man, that's delicious, so why don't you all come in and say hi to Bluey? And even just throwing these last minute low effort Bluey parties ends with thousands of people flooding in the doors. It's become like an infinite money glitch. And for one restaurant, it actually turned into a bit of a catastrophe, kind of like a smaller scale Willy Wonka experience. All they said is, hey, we're doing a little Bluey party at our hot dog place. And people went ballistic, showing up and like driving hours out of their way just to be there. And what they got was a dude in a Bluey onesie. And it didn't even cover his face. It was just the guy with his normal face out. He had like a beard and everything, and apparently kids started like fucking hysterically crying in disappointment, and the parents were shaking their fists like, how dare you, you've ruined Bluey, you using his name in vain, this is fucking despicable, blasphemous even. You hear about the Las Vegas restaurant that has angered parents and upset children after hosting an event that promised a meet and greet with Bluey that went horribly wrong. Is that what that other chatter was talking about? They called it like the Bluey Doomsday or whatever? Is that what is happening with Bluey? I keep seeing Bluey as like some kind of drama talking point online, and I know nothing about it. All I know is it's a very, very popular kids program. What's happening? Has he been hijacked? being exploited by demons or something out here? Let's see, Bluey meet and greet. Did he show up smoking a cigarette? Like what? I don't understand. Kids and parents were angry after underwhelming Bluey event in Vegas. Oh, so it's like the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and the Unknown then. Instead, they got a long line and a man in a onesie. Thanks for ruining my 3-year-old's day, one person wrote on Facebook. A Dirt Dog restaurant promised screenings of the Australian kids' TV series, face painting, games, giveaways, and snacks, as well as the opportunity to meet Bluey and friends. But when parents took their kids to the free event at the restaurant, part of a national hot dog chain on Saturday, they weren't impressed with what they saw. Timu Bluey costume. It's a guy in Bluey pajamas. It's not even an actual character costume. Well, I don't know a whole bunch about Bluey, but this looks pretty good to me. They just asked one of their employees to put this on. They found it at Walmart. It just said rip it.
Bluey they expected was not who greeted them. On the left, this is a photo a parent took at an event with the popular cartoon character Bluey.
Yeah, but I don't know. They're both pretty good.
The kids were distraught. Some kids were crying. Some kids were upset, crying in their parents' shoulders.
3,000 people RSVP'd on the
Yeah, but like, why though? Why would they be crying like, oh fuck, he's got a beard, it's not Bluey, no! Oh, get me out of here, Mom!
Hey, I drove 1 hour just to see a grown man in PJs. Other parents defended Dirt Dog. It's a free event and a risk you take.
Yeah.
My son loved it.
My son had a great time. He came to see Bluey, and he got fucking Louie wearing the costume that we found out in the dumpster. What more can you ask for? He was such a good guy. He even stopped and talked to my son.
Taj Wilder of Dirt Dog broke down their side. She says, first of all,
That food looks good, though.
hot spot with a hip-hop edge. Expected a few dozen.
Bluey was big. I just didn't realize how big he was. The biggest takeaway.
You and me both.
Go all out. You want to do stuff for the community. Just make sure you do it at the highest quality.
Dirt Dog.
They seem to have a really good attitude about it. They seem sweet. They seem super sweet. Isn't Bluey a she? I know nothing about Bluey. I have no fucking clue. Bluey's popular as fuck. I know Bluey's huge. I'm very well aware. I see drama about Bluey all the time. There's like 2 different camps, like I guess like Bluey adults or something, so people that watch Bluey without kids, and the people that say it's weird to watch Bluey without kids, and they're always butting heads on Twitter. But I don't know anything about Bluey. So like bronies? I guess kind of. But I don't think they're watching Bluey sexually. You have to remember, bronies during their heyday, they masturbated to My Little Pony. I don't think Bluey's to that level. I think it's people that just really like the cartoon. I think that's all it is. It's not, I don't think it's sexual. Maybe it is. Like I said, I don't know anything about it. Only what I see on Twitter all the time. Do all bronies watch it for sexual gratification? Not all of them, but that was like the peak of it. You don't remember the, what was it, Sparkle Dash Cum Jar? Or Rainbow Dash Cum Jar. Like most of it was sexual for bronies back in the day. Also, RIP to bronies. They have gone extinct. We were actually just talking about it on the podcast not long ago. Bronies completely fizzled out. They don't exist anymore. There's a woman on a podcast stating she indeed gets off to the dad on Bluey. I would look that up later. I'll listen to it. Why not? I'm already deep into the Bluey rabbit hole. Let's see what all the hype's about. Is Bluey's dad some kind of sex icon or something? What's this about? I mean, I'll listen to it, but it doesn't sound real. Like, I don't think she's actually sexually attracted to Bluey's dad. What the fuck is Bluey's dad's name? I'll address him by name. Put some respect on him. His name is Bandit. Okay, yeah, I don't think she's actually touching herself to Bandit. What the fuck? Why did this come up? Trigger warning, miscarriage episode of Bluey. Bluey tackles miscarriages? What in tarnation?
Is it the dog
cartoon?
Show?
Dog show?
I put it on for my dog when I leave.
The dog dad, I would fucking fuck his brains out. The dog dad, he's funny, he's kind, he's smart.
He's a dog?
I have never, yes,
Okay.
he's a dog, and I have never been more attracted to anybody in my life.
Really?
And it is a cartoon dog.
Yeah, this definitely doesn't sound real.
He looks like a dog version of Phil Dunphy.
I masturbated to him.
Really?
I have masturbated to him.
Like, I'm so curious though. Is he a cartoon?
He's a cartoon.
Were you?
What do you mean? You were just looking at it. Of course he's a cartoon in there. Would it be better if they brought out a real dog? Like, I think it's, like, both are bad, but I'd rather it be the cartoon dog, honestly. What the fuck? She's like, hold on, wait, let me throw you a bone here. It's a real dog that you're masturbating to, right? That's the fucking, you're lose-lose there.
You imagining you two together? Were you just reading to his personality?
I was reading to him.
Thank you for clarifying.
His voice, though. I was also reading to his voice.
Can you play a clip of his voice? Wait, what does Bluey sound like? Interesting. It just sounds like she was making some over-the-top silly shit. Like, I highly doubt she's done that. Maybe she has. I'm not her dad. I have no fucking clue. What was his name again? Bandit? Bluey Bandit Fart? Man, like I said, I don't know enough about, like, the Bluey fandom, but that sounded a lot like My Little Pony bronies right there. Are you telling me the first thing that comes up for Bluey Bandit is Bluey Bandit Fart? I don't know what the Out of Bed podcast is typically about, but man. Dog fucking, huh? Interesting. Do you remember that clip where the brony is at a My Little Pony convention and he goes up to the Q&A panel and asks the cast members about the sexual undertones of the show? Oh, God, yeah, I remember that. Oh, yeah. Damn. That is old. That's like, I think that might even be over 10 years old now, yeah. Like I said, bronies went extinct. They didn't even get, like, replaced by anything. They didn't, like, venture off into other fandoms. Bronies just vanished. I don't know what happened. Maybe there was, like, a great rapture or something, and they all went to, like, the My Little Pony Rainbow in the Sky. I don't really know, but they just aren't around anymore. Here's a membership, Carter. Have you seen the video of that brony who confessed to his dad on the phone that he jerks off to My Little Pony? He said it's called clopping dad. Is it real? I don't think so. And I don't think this is where the term clopping came from.
My friends are bronies, and I actually make animations and art for the brony community.
Man, speaking of extinction, do you remember Skype? Jesus Christ. I'm glad we evolved past Skype. Actual, just official malware.
That's why you always underscored your fucking computer whenever I walk in. That's why you always turned off your monitor.
That's another thing. I kind of watch porn relating to ponies.
What?
See, he's laughing about it. It's not real. That is still a crazy thing to do with your dad, though. Dad, I'm gonna give you a call real quick and just go with it.
What? It's called clopping.
What? What are you? What? Are you fucking with me?
No, it's called clopping, Dad.
Oh my God, there is no way.
It's called clopping, Dad. It's something every brony.
Have you seen the video of the guy that keeps saying he wasn't put in a full Nelson? That seems so odd. What? Is that the whole thing? He just refuses to believe he was in a full Nelson? It's in a bar, someone restrained him, said they put him in a full Nelson and refused, and had a meltdown with the police.
This is what happens when you threaten a cop.
Once I punch you in the balls, I can grab your gun. I want them!
That's quite a... Wait a minute. This is like season 2 of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. This man's calling his shots.
When you threaten a cop.
Once I punch you in the balls, I can grab your gun.
Next you're gonna say, put your hands behind your back. Holy.
I want them! How you doing, sir?
Membership, Loki.
So he hit stuff?
Slammed his head into the wall and then into my door.
So he didn't hit a person?
I threatened to.
You threatened to?
Yeah.
Okay.
I never did, though.
Okay. You guys have I'm gonna help you up.
So that's where the full Nelson was applied down there, I'm assuming, right? So they had him in the full Nelson, and then they arrived there. He's emotional right now. The alcohol is doing a lot of heavy lifting on his emotions. But is that where the full Nelson was?
Not helping you get out. You don't need to.
He's handling himself just fine. He's doing great.
Able to restrain him and subdue him on the ground with a full Nelson. Then once you guys arrived.
Uh-oh.
I was never in a full Nelson, though.
Alright.
Okay. Restrained.
Well,
never in a
for sake of conversation, he said that. It's neither here nor
No, it's incorrect. It's incorrect.
What's going on tonight?
Half mount at best. Half mount at best.
Full Nelson never happened.
Okay,
So
then it didn't happen.
obviously you're believing that
No.
didn't happen.
Well, you weren't talking to me before, so I need to figure something out.
No full Nelson. No case. I walk.
Fucking liar. He never had me in
Here's
a
the
full
thing.
Nelson.
Do you go by Christian?
It doesn't fucking
I'm
matter
gonna
at
call you
this
Christian,
point.
okay? Well, it does matter.
I go by anti-fucking Nelson at this point. Officer, you gotta get the story straight.
Never had me at a full Nelson.
Stop. So now you're talking to me.
I see why he's so upset. Spreading rumors about a full Nelson? That's fighting words.
More to the situation.
Well, to be honest, I am drunk.
I don't believe that. I don't believe
All I
that.
know is nobody ever put me in any kind of.
Okay, then nobody put you in a full Nelson. I'll agree.
There was no Nelson at all.
When I came up here, though, you were on the ground being held by him. So something led up to that point. I'm trying to figure out what led up to that point. I have his side, and now I'm trying to get.
So is that where the full Nelson argument ends? Also, where does faking your death even come in here? Oh, like he pretended to die during the arrest? I imagine that's what it is. He did like the classic, you know, play dead. Officer, I was never involved. Ragdolls himself. Like an Oblivion NPC. What the fuck is a full Nelson? What do you mean? You don't know what a full Nelson is? Here, I'll show you.
This is what.
This is like one of the most well-known moves of all time, next to the knuckle sandwich. This is like 101 shit. Like, this is human instinct. You're born with the knowledge of how to lock somebody in a Nelson fully. I would move states if someone put me in a full Nelson. Well, I mean, I see why he's so irate about it, man. If there was never a full master lock on the guy, you don't want that to be on your record. So, I mean, he's making his case. We'd have to check the CCTV footage. And, to be fair, to his credit, when we tune in here in the middle of the anime, that does not look like a full Nelson. That looks more like he's coddling him. Like, this is like breastfeeding position. You won't learn this in BJJ. This is like Steven Seagal Aikido. I've put a man in a full Nelson in every state. That's like some SpongeBob shit. That's not even a partial Nelson. Well, that's what I'm saying. This is the only footage we see. It's very possible that he had him in the lock, and then he started crying, and he felt bad, so he released it a little bit, and now he has him on his arm like a newborn. It is entirely possible that the Nelson happened. We just don't have footage of it. At least not yet. I need to watch the whole thing. But this seems like wholesome almost. You know what I mean? It's comforting. I thought he was like a victim of somebody when we first tuned in here. That was the post-Nelson. Yeah. No, you're right. He's still in the afterglow. He's burping him. Yeah. I think I'm very curious where the playing dead comes in.
All I know is this motherfucker needs to fucking get a bullet through his head too.
Whoa! Whoa!
Like adults here for this situation, so we can get to the bottom of this.
You're out of line. Someone slap a full Nelson on this man.
Welcome to 2023. Nothing is an adult anymore. No, nothing.
What?
You can't call me an adult. That's assuming my age.
What? That doesn't even make sense. We're trying to get. I'm trying to figure out what's going on.
Oh my god, this hairline is fucking crazy. It looks like he's being birthed right now, like in the Death Stranding trailer when it goes into his mouth and you see like the baby head poking out. Holy lord, brother, just shave. It's not worth holding on to the morsels.
Head off the walls,
and I will still do that. All I have to
No,
do
okay,
is
fair.
punch
If you
balls and
that's not going to happen.
so I'm pretty sure I can cause that because once I punch you in the balls, I can grab your gun.
No.
Do you really want to try it?
Well,
officer, he's got all the power right now. Look at that stance.
You want to?
No, I really don't.
You feeling lucky, punk?
it just looks like you want that challenge. I feel more like just hitting you in the chin.
It's your right to try it if you would like, but I would not advise it. So let me ask you this.
I really fuck with the officer here. He's like, brother, if you want to, you can, but you really shouldn't do it. He's talking to him like just the sultry tones of his voice. It's like calming me and angering him.
You are gonna move from there, I promise you that.
Then you're gonna get a fist to your chin.
Not that.
This is what we're gonna do, Kristen.
Not the pillow fists.
Christian, yeah.
Okay, Christian, stand up for me.
No.
Well, you're still gonna stand up nonetheless.
Don't touch me.
I'm giving you the opportunity.
Officer, please put him in a full Nelson. Good Lord, if there's any justice in this world, that'd be so poetic.
Stop.
He's asking for a Nelson. He's begging for a Nelson. He has his arms in Nelson position. You killed him.
Dead weight.
He's dead now.
I can handle that weight. Go and put
Oh, not his. Please don't show me his ass. It's like the last thing I want to see.
Christian, I
Fucking
know you're gonna be detained.
Hershey stains in the britches.
Christian, are you gonna walk at all? Christian. Are you gonna walk at all? Christian.
If he really wanted to sell it, what he should have done is put like little rings in his pocket, so when he played dead, it pops out like when Sonic gets hit. Then he would have sold the illusions. Like, well, he's dead. Back to you, bartender. We can do nothing. Our jurisdiction ends here.
If you can hold the chair so it doesn't slide out for me.
We're going to need somebody to bring him back to life.
Before all this started.
Someone give this man a phoenix down.
Also accidentally.
Enforcement officer, which is in charge of himself.
Well,
Hey, at this point, you might as well.
something's gonna happen.
Oh my god.
Because you're gonna make your problem.
He's going Super Saiyan.
I don't give it.
You won't like him when he's angry. No. He tried playing nice. The full Nelson has awakened his Mangekyo Sharingan. He's too much.
I want your fucking gun.
You're not getting my gun, but I'm gonna lean you on your side so you don't suffocate.
I want your fucking gun right now. I want the fucking gun.
What day of the week do you think that was? Friday, clearly. The bar is full. It's popping. This man was getting crazy. Having a good time, a hoot and holler. But what if it was a Waffle House? If it was a Waffle House, there'd be no survivors. It'd already be checkmate.